And just like that, week 10 is done. It's in the books, guys. We got 1 week to go. What's up, everyone? Hope everybody's good. Welcome back to the Seventh Man. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for all the support. We have got a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. I want to start with TAAPS. I think I got you guys figured out. I really do. Well, I think I got the brackets figured out. I've got them right here. All of them, including UIL. Every single one of them. But D1 and D2 still have me kind of confused because they combine those districts and those divisions together. I'm not sure why they do that. And people like me that are kind of special, it takes me a little bit longer. So saying that, I want to start talking with D3 and kind of put D1 and 2 off until I know for sure that I'm not messing something up. Because I don't want to say anything wrong, get any wrong information out there. So D3, that left side of the bracket is brutal. There's six top teams on that side, with Covenant, Irvin, and Longview being top 5. So that's not an easy route to try and get to the championship game. With that being said, I think Covenant is the team to beat on that side. I honestly don't see anybody beating them, but that on that side, Covenant is it. They're probably gonna be hooking up with Heritage in the regionals. I think it's gonna be a good game, but Covenant they're just too good and they'll move on. And in the semis, they'll probably hook up with probably Irving, and they put up a little bit of a fight, but I just don't see anybody beating them. I really don't on that side of the bracket. Okay, then on the right side, that's another one. I don't see any other way it can go than Bracken and St. Joseph meeting up in the semis. I've looked at it several different ways, and I don't see any of the other teams beating those two. So, but what's crazy is Bracken, they have a first round bye. And I don't understand that because in Division 3, there's 1 bye. But then I think Division 1, there are 4. TAAPS, I don't understand that. Can somebody maybe give me some kind of explanation of why it is that way? Because I don't understand. I really don't. I'd like the TAAPS stuff to be a little bit more consistent. But then again, I am a UIL guy, and it's very consistent on both sides of D1 and D2. So there's no question about any of it. Anyways, moving on before I get off on that. Be consistent about it, though. Okay? I don't see a reason why Bracken doesn't go state. I don't think St. Joseph can beat them. St. Joseph is a good team, but I just don't think they can handle them. Now, I will say, St. Joseph on your guys' side, if you do beat Bracken, if you can handle Bracken, you guys will win state. Bracken is the best team in that division, and if you can beat them, win a game over them, you're going to be the champs. No doubt about it. So, Covenant and Bracken in the state game, Covenant has a really good high powerful offense with Witt and Briley. But Bracken is a little bit more of a well-rounded team, and they got a better defense. So it's going to come down to a few stops that I think Bracken's going to be able to get on Covenant. That's going to be the outcome of the game. And that kind of goes back to the ranking game. That's what Bracken did against Rankin, and they were down most of the game and had some stops come up, and they ended up winning. So in that game, that's what it's going to come down to, is just a couple defensive stops. So TCAF, is there 2 divisions? Because when I looked at y'all's brackets, there is a D1 and D2, which obviously that tells me there's 2, but I'm not understanding it because in D1, I think there's 4 teams, and Wiley Prep is in that one. And then in D2, there's the rest of the team, which there's 15 or however many. I don't really know the number. But the rest of the teams, which there's a whole bunch of them, and is in D2. And Lantana Harvest is on that side. I don't want to see that. I want to see the Wiley Prep and Harvest matchup for a state championship. Now, I think they got a game coming up this week or whenever, but I want to see it for a championship game. So, TCAF, why is it that way? If you're going to have divisions, Why even them up instead of having 4 and 14 in the other? I don't get that. Can some of you guys give me some info on that or give me something because I'm clueless on it. So TAIO, I don't have y'all's bracket yet at the time. I looked for it, but there's nothing on it. So as I'm recording this, I do not have it yet, so I can't really get into it. Coach Knight is supposed to be getting it to me, which I know he will. He just hadn't had the chance to yet. So that's why I'm not going to get into you guys yet. Next week I'll be able to. So when I asked on Instagram what you guys wanted me to talk about on the podcast, I got 120 to 150 different suggestions. Some of them I answered, some of them I didn't. I can't answer every single one of those. But most of those suggestions, and I'm talking about a whole ton of them, was do you think so and so has a chance at state? And there was several different teams. And I'm going to answer this for everybody. Yes, your team does have a chance at state. If you make the playoffs, you have a chance to make state. That's common sense. You do. Now, the odds may not be in favor as much for your team as they are of Motley County or May or Strawn or somebody like that. But the chance is still there. Anything can happen. Any crazy thing can happen. Anybody can lose at any time. So don't count yourself out or anyone else out. So yes, that is my answer. Your team, whoever asked me that, the hundreds of people that asked me that, yes, you do have a chance at state. So as I mentioned, I printed out the 4 brackets. Well, 4 UI brackets and TAAPS, whatever. I did 2 Division 2, 2 Division 1s. I did a hypothetical for each, and then I have another one that I'm going to do as I go. So I did the hypothetical probably Wednesday, I think, of last week. So, and right now it's fallen in pretty good to how I was expecting. But again, things can change, so we don't know. So, Division 1 bracket, it's just about full, except for a couple games. I'm just waiting on the Rankin and Garden City game this week and the Avalon Blum game. And there's 2 or 3, 4, or something like that to determine the second spot. The Rankin Garden City. Sorry. Rankin Garden City game. I love Rankin. I have a bad feeling about this game for some reason. Something deep down tells me Garden City is going to beat them. I don't like that. Yeah, Garden City's a really good team. Rankin's a really good team, but I'm expecting Rankin to win. But for some reason, I just got a nauseous feeling. Well, I shouldn't say nauseous. Gut feeling that Garden City's going to win. So I don't know. Avalon, still on Avalon's side. I'm really liking that team. I do feel like Blum has played better the last couple games, but Avalon, again, has a better defense. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Defense wins championships. Offense score points. Defense wins championships. That's a proven statement right there. I see Avalon meeting up with probably St. Joe's second round for sure, and if they get past them, they'll hit Abbott, which is scary in the third round. So if that is the case and that's what happens, they better come with guns blazing against Abbott. But yeah, Avalon, man, I like those guys. I'm happy for them. They got a history of success, and I'm glad to see it again this year too. So it's a possibility, very good possibility for them. And then, holy crap, Baird and Lingleville. Did anybody listen to that game? Did anybody go to that game? I know a couple of people did go to it. I listened to it, but what I don't get about it was Thursday and Friday of last week, I was starting to get a lot of Baird's fixing to lose. Baird's fixing to get their butts whooped. I don't know why. And there was so much hate last week for Baird. And it was crazy. I don't understand it. I don't know why they were getting it. I haven't seen or heard anything about Baird or having issues with Baird. But there was just so much of it. I mean, am I missing something with them or what? Somebody let me know, or if it's just, okay, well, we just want Baird to lose. But I picked Baird to win. But when the game originally started, I mean, right off the bat, I was like, "Oh crap!" Everybody was right. Everybody was right. They're fixing to get the rear ends kicked because that's how it was starting out. I can't remember the score at half, and that's terrible of me for not to know because I should. But they were down, I think by a couple touchdowns or something like that. I don't know. But one thing I like to see, and it's happened several times this year, not just with Baird, a team goes in getting beat at halftime, and they come out, they make their adjustments, and they come back and win. I love that. I love seeing that in any kind of team because it shows their resilience, their fight, and how they want to compete. They're not just going to lay down. So kudos to Baird for treating it that way and end up coming back and getting the win. Okay, so I'm happy for those guys, but they did draw Water Valley first round, so they're going to have their work cut out for them. And I'll talk about Water Valley here shortly as well. And then another holy crap game, Spring Lake and Nass. I, I follow all my games on an app, or I'll use Score Stream in a different app. I'll have a computer up, my phone up, and then I'll have another computer listen to a game or whatever's up for that night. But I was using an app, and I have every single game on there, every single game. So it takes a while to run through everything. And when people update scores, sometimes it takes longer than I'd like, so I get a little impatient. And so, anyways, I'm flipping through, scrolling through all the games, and I'm watching, and watching. And I honestly wasn't too worried about this game. I thought it was going to be a blowout, so I'd see it and I'd just scroll past, not really even pay attention to the score, and I just kept scrolling past. And then all of a sudden, something caught my eye one time when I was going by, and I said, "Whoa, hang on. Did I just see something? And my eyes playing tricks on me or something?" So I went back up, and Nads was beating the living snot, beating the crap out of them. And I was like, no, somebody must have posted the wrong score. And so I was just, you know what, forget it. And then I refreshed, and next thing I know, Naz has scored again. I was like, this is something's wrong. Something is wrong here. So I got worried. I really did because if Naz beat him, it was going to screw my entire hypothetical bracket up. Because I've got Spring Lake going a long way, as should everybody else. But fortunately, Spring Lake came. Another one of those. They went in halftime, adjusted, and they come back. And it ended up being a fourth quarter comeback, which is always good. And it didn't mess my bracket up. So thank you, Etheridge and the boys, for not screwing my bracket up. I know it's selfish, but I like my bracket how it is. So that's one of those deals. It's playoff time. You never know who's going to win or lose or what's going to happen. So again, Spring Lake, congrats. I'm glad you guys did whatever y'all did and ended up winning. So then there was Spur and Knox City. Knox City was favored to win by almost 40 points. Knox City lost by 48 points, 104 to 56. 104 to 56. I'm going to be honest, Spur, with you guys, and I want to apologize. I honestly didn't think you had it in you. I didn't think there was any way that, or you had any chance that the game was going to happen like it did, and especially putting up 104. I underestimated you guys, and I apologize for that. And then I got to looking at Spur. I looked at their schedule, and because that's another one of those teams I just kind of put under the radar. I knew they were good, but I didn't realize how good they were. And I looked at their schedule, and their only losses to, like a whole bunch of other people, Motley County. So I was like, all right, well, so they are this good. They are that good of a team. Well, I got to looking again. First round, they're going to hit O'Donnell. I think, pretty sure. They've already beaten O'Donnell once this year. So after that, they'll match up with Valley in the second round. Well, I'm going to say Valley right now because Valley's going to have Naz first round, and if Naz comes out and play like that again at Spring Lake, it's a dadgum possibility they're going to beat Valley. So you never know right now. But right now, I'm playing it as Valley and Spur in second round. So it's going to be a really good game, and it's really going to give Spurs going to give me some perspective on actually how good Spur is. So if if they do get past second round, I'm you can't you can't doubt if there's no doubt about it that Spur actually is a true state contender as well, which is weird me saying that. So here we go on. Like I said, I want to talk about Water Valley. It seems like to me that they've kind of been under the radar some, maybe. You may see it that way. Some of you may not. I don't really hear much about them. I don't really see much about them. I definitely haven't talked much about them. But those guys are, they're going to contend. No doubt about it. They're going to contend. Like, can actually win this thing. I really believe they can actually win it. Starting off, they got a really easy ride through the playoffs as well until they get to the semis where they're going to come up with May. And I'm going to put it out another pretty bold statement. If any team can beat May, it's going to be Water Valley. So I think the winner of that game is going to be the state champs. I'd honestly like to see Water Valley do it because I didn't realize how good of a team they were, and they just kind of snuck up on me. So, and I'd like to see it. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't think so, but you never know. But like I said, Water Valley is going to be the only team that can match up and beat May. So that's going to be a really, really good game for sure. And so I'm probably going to catch hate and get a whole lot of hate mail on that. But I ruffled some feathers this week. Ruffled some feathers. I like when I do it too because it makes me laugh. It really does. But usually once I do, we talk it out and everybody's happy again. So, and speaking of my hypotheticals, if you guys want to see it, let me know, and I'll shoot it to you, or I'll post it or something like that. That way, actually, I may post it anyways. That way, y'all can see that I'm not making this crap up and then erased and erased and erased. So I'm probably gonna post that for you guys. All right, let's switch over to D2. D2 has gotten interesting here recently. I was kind of down on it until I looked today when I was getting all my stuff ready and realized that there's some competitive matchups for this week. I think there is 6 games that this week that are going to settle the 1 and 2. And for some reason, I was thinking previous weeks that it was all done. It was pretty much all done, but I was wrong. Now, some of these 1 and 2 matchups are kind of settled already, because even though they had been played, but we already know who's going to come out on top. So, but the big one, well, the biggest one to me is going to be Motley and Jayton. You've heard me talk about it. I've been excited for this one for a while, and I know several other people have because we've talked about it as well. But my question is how close is it going to be? How well is Jayton going to play Motley? But that's my biggest question. Because everybody knows Jayton's going to come in ready. Motley's going to come in ready. They play each other. They know each other. So, and I want to know how close is it going to be. I hadn't seen the spreads. I need to look at the spreads to see what everybody's picking. If it's because I know some people 45. That's what I like about spreads. Some all of a sudden spreads are everybody's beat 45, and then you have a couple that are by 10. Anyways, I'm starting to ramble on about it, but I'm just curious to see how well Jayton's going to play them. But what's cool and what I really, really like about it is these teams are going to meet up in the third round. Yeah, third round. So regardless of who wins Friday, the game that really matters is third round. What I would like to see, which I think it would be kind of cool, is Motley win this week and then Jayton win third round just as a comeback. I think it'd be pretty cool. Do I think it's going to happen that way? Probably not, but you never know. So Jayton, come in and put a game up. Play a good game. Make it go 4 quarters like a 2-point game. 2-point game. Make it happen. Now, the game I'm going to go to or plan on going to as of now, Strawn and Gordon. It's always a good matchup. Strawn, you know how I feel about Strawn. A lot of people have Gordon as a top 10. I don't think they are, but, it is what it is. I got a pretty good idea how it's going to go, how I think it's going to go, and hopefully everybody else does. Like I've said, I've looked at Gordon's schedule and compared them and done all that crap. And I just don't. I think they're a little overrated. I think there's a good possibility Strong's going to 45 them, but we'll see. But this is another one like Motley and Jayton. They'll hook up third round, and like they did last year, they'll hook up third round, and I think the outcome would be the same. Now, I will say that Gordon will match up with Goldberg in the second round. I told y'all, Goldberg was going to get first in District 10. I called it. I told y'all I knew that was going to happen. Anyways, they'll match up with Gordon second round, and there's a decent chance Goldberg might beat Gordon. I would not be surprised. So that's a game that we're going to have to keep an eye out on after this first round of district play. Oh, by district play. So then, Calvert and Oakwood. I've been interested about this district for a while. I've had Oakwood picked to win for a while now. Both of the teams, they've been up and they've been down. They've had crazy years. I've seen Oakwood at their highest level. I've seen Oakwood at their lowest, and which is unfortunate when a year they really have a good shot of winning this district and actually running through the playoffs and be a contender. So Calvert, I've been hard on those guys. I really have, and I need to apologize and lay off of them a little bit. I thought about that this week. I don't know the situation down there. I don't know what's going on. I'm just basing off of their usual years of how good they are and how dominant they are and how they dominate teams, and I'm just not seeing it this year. Circumstances are different. There was a coaching change. Coach Ashley's gone, but this year is just too much inconsistency with Calvert. So I think Oakwood's going to take it because of that. But who knows? You don't know. If that's the case, Calvert's going to hit Oglesby first round, and that's going to be a good matchup because Oglesby has struggled against the better teams. We've talked about that before. But regardless of that, one of them, they're going to be hitting Richland Springs, either Calvert or Oakwood eventually. One of them, somewhere, is going to hook up with Richland Springs. And, really, Richland Springs has kind of been under the water, kind of like Water Valley is. Not many people's talking about them. Richland Springs is the top 5 team. Really good team, but they've just kind of kept, I don't know, I guess you can kind of say kept to themselves and not really made any waves except for that game where they played Covenant and that both teams scored a crap ton of points. So, like I said, Richland, they're a top 5 team, and I'm going to have them meeting up with Strong in the finals, probably in Hyco, and I'm going to that game. Going to it. So Rigdon boys, Mr. Caps, I'll be there in Hyco watching you guys for sure. So now I want to bring up Benjamin. Benjamin's 9-0. They've won their district. But what worries me about the 9-0 is their schedule hasn't really been the toughest. I think maybe Goldberg has probably been the toughest team that they've played. But Goldberg is a good team. I've watched them play this year. I watched one game. I've seen them play. So I know they're decent. They're not bad. But I do want to say I want to give Benjamin some props. Out of the last 17 years, I looked this up, they've got 2 winning seasons. This year and last year. Last year they went 6-2. So I wanted to give those guys and Benjamin a big shout out and congratulate them for the district win. But for the turnaround of a team that's been bad. They really have. They've just been bad. This year, they're a top 15 team. They came from below bottom. And being a top 15 says a lot coming from where they have been. So if Jayton loses to Motley County, that's who they're going to match up with first round in by district. And it's going to be a challenge for them. I don't think they've played anybody at the level of Jayton. Jayton is a better team than Goldberg, so this is going to be a little bit more of a struggle for them. But I'd like to see them win that game, and I'd really like for them to make some waves and go a few rounds in the playoffs. So, again, Benjamin, congrats, and keep it up. Keep the good work up. I'm glad to see you guys right there. So, some games that we need to watch this week. Rankin Garden City, already talked about that. Avalon Blum, already talked about that. Coolidge and Aquila, they're fighting for the second spot. That's going to be a good game. I really think so. And if I can't make the, well, never mind. I'm going to say that because I'm planning on making that game. So they're fighting for the second spot, and I'm rooting for Coach Baker on this one. I like Coach Baker. He's a good guy. Then Groom and Wildorado is a big one. Klondike and Sands. I like Klondike. I want to see them and Groom in the second round. I really do. That's going to be a great matchup. We need to watch Balmorhea and Sanderson too. Sanderson too. Balmorhea shouldn't have an issue, but don't count Sanderson out. Just saying. There's a few other deciding games that I didn't mention, but I think those are settled, like I said, before they're even played. But you never know. Real quick, I want to talk about a couple big achievements for this year. Some really cool stuff that I saw. And so I just want to say congrats to Coach Gallegos from Jonesboro. He won his 12th district championship. Winning one is hard to do, but when you win 12 at Jonesboro, I'm not saying just at Jonesboro, but winning 12 at one specific school, that's a great accomplishment. And same thing here, same thing. So, and I apologize to this guy because my first podcast, I just tore him a new one. I was extremely tough on him. Coach Ritchie of Borden County. Okay. He's won his 14th district champ in a row with Borden County. That especially this year, the way they started off, it started off rough for them. And they had a very, very tough schedule. Again, Coach Ritchie, I apologize. The more I think about it, the more I feel like an a-hole. I really do. They had that tough schedule to get going, but they finished strong, and I said that. I said they were likely to go 5-5. They would go 0-5 or whatever, then finish off 5-0 or whatever during district, 4-0 during district, and that's exactly what they've done or what they're fixing to do. So Coach Ritchie and Borden County, well done. I'm rooting for you guys. I really am. Excuse me. I'm starting to feel a little bit better, if you can't tell. So if you saw my post from last week, I'm working on getting the state records updated. I posted a deal with all the records that have been posted. The last time they were updated was in 2016, and we do know some have been broken. I know some have this year, but between now and 2016, I really don't know, and it's hard to say. So I'm planning on getting with a couple of people and collaborating with them. That way we can get them posted. And that way the 6-man community can have access to them and see, and that way the kids can go, okay, well, I've got this one beat. So if you think it have broken it, or you have, right now, let me know, and that way I can check it. And if I come back and say, hey, yeah, you've broke it, I have to see it. I just can't take your word. You telling me that you've ran for 16,000 yards in one season. It's not going to work that way. I got to have some kind of proof, some kind of paper proof, or a coach backing you up or something saying, yes, he did this. No, he didn't do that. So get it to me, guys. Something real quick. Volleyball. You volleyball girls. It's playoff time for y'all as well. We see you. I promise. We see you. Don't worry. So my message to all you football guys, if you can, when your girls have these playoff games, get your butt in those stands and go support them. I guarantee you they're either cheering at your football games or sitting in those football stands. Okay? It will not hurt you one bit to get your rear end to the gym wherever they're at and go support those girls. Do whatever you got to do to help support those girls. Now, some of you can't fix it and won't be able to use that. Well, I've got football practice excuse. A lot of you ain't going to be able to use that. So don't try that crap. Go support them. It'll mean a lot to them. It really will. They need it just as much as the football guys do. Okay? Go support them. All right, I'm going to wrap up. I tried to touch up on some stuff that you guys wanted me to. There was a lot of requests, which I thought was really cool, but there was a lot I want to talk about already. Anyways, so I tried to mix a little bit of everything in, and I'm going to keep doing that. And I know I had several private school requests, and I was able to take care of the D3, but D1 and D2, I'm just not sure on it yet, like I said. And I don't want to give false information out there. I really want to thank you guys all the time. I'm going to thank you guys all the time and every day for all the support. I mean, it's crazy. It really is. I wish you could see my inbox and listen to my wife complain all night when my phone's going off. with all the notifications and all that. But I do sincerely, I thank you guys. It's been really fun to do. We got a huge week ahead of us. So everybody keep your nose clean. This is when your team needs it the most right now. So give me a follow on the gram at Texas Six Man Talk. Guys, shoot me a message. We can talk, do whatever you want to do. Keep working hard this week and get prepared. This is where it starts getting tough. Hope everybody stays safe, stays healthy, take care of each other. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next week.